so for today I have my friend's bike because I already washed mine, sadly. So yeah, here's the bike. You can see it's pretty dirty from all the lube and the dirt you get from riding on the drivetrain, on the frame, the suspension and everywhere. So yeah, you can use a stand like me if you have one, wait, right here, or you can just like flip the bike over and wash it that way. But yeah, so let's get right into it now. Alright, so for the tools I'll be using the degreaser, which is from WD-40. You can see you find this in Teku and it's pretty cheap. Some car shampoo, again from Teku, but you can use normal shampoo as well, but this is cheap if you buy the 1 liter thingy. And for the brushes I have normal paint brushes for the tight spaces, a toilet brush for the sprocket, the chain and everything else, sponges for the frame. The dirty sponge is for the chain after you clean it with degreaser, and this is for the frame. Make sure you have different sponges so that it doesn't scratch your frame up. And for the last part I have this, I don't know what you call this, but you can use it for the tires and it's pretty easy. This is a gear brush for the sprocket to get inside, and this toothbrush is for the small wheels that you find on a derailleur. Alright, and also I have this chain cleaning tool, which I got for I think 500 from Pank Bike. You can find it anywhere. You get a bottle of degreaser with this, but then I tend on using this because it's better and it's the same price. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And you'll need a bucket. Don't forget a bucket. So yeah, let's get on to the washing part. Alright, so first what you do is you take the shampoo right here, and then you just pour it in. Yeah. And then you fill it up with water. So when this is filling up with water, you can just let this be here, and in the time you can take your degreaser, which is right here, and then come towards this. So this is basically your drivetrain. Yeah, and then what you do is you take the degreaser and just spray it on. Make sure you're spraying it at an angle which is the thing is facing down and not towards the rotor. So just spray like that. Spray it on the chain as well, on the wheels. And if you have a front derailleur like this bike does, make sure you spray some up on the chain rings as well. Yep. Alright, so after you're done putting on the degreaser, make sure you let it stay there for a while so it does its thing. And then after that, you take your brushes and the soap. So I'm going to use this brush and just give it a quick scrub. Make sure you use a lot of water. After that, you can take your toothbrush, which you have right here, and then use these wheels. What you do is you take your brush, you put it along here, and you like start spinning it backwards. Make sure you give it a few little scrubs as well, from the front and the back side. Once that's done, you can take this brush again and then start scrubbing the front chain rings. After you're done with this, you're supposed to take this tool. You see right here that you open it up, and then you take your degreaser and then you fill this up as well, and then you put it right here on the chain. Put this thing back up, take your handle, and then you start spinning it backwards. You can take your soapy water and then fill it here with a sponge once it's getting over right here. You should see all of this black stuff falling off. You can see all of that is the dirt, the grime. So that's a good sign. Make sure you give it a few turns because the oil, the dirt, everything gets really sticky and it doesn't want to come off. After that, then you can just open this up, remove it, and then boom, all of that dirt, boys. Make sure you give your drivetrain a clean once a week, you know, to keep all the parts fresh. After you're done with all of the drivetrain, you can let it be, and then now we'll go on to the frame. Alright, so after you're done with the drivetrain, you take your hose, just give the bike a quick rinse. You don't have to go deep enough right now, so that all the loose dirt, the big part, just falls off. Just give it a quick rinse. Suspension, drivetrain, even on the back. Yeah, after you're done giving it a quick rinse, then it's the time to take your sponges and get deep in the frame to clear all the dirt. Alright, now you take your sponge that is for your frame. So basically, you need to have two sponges, one only for the drivetrain so that you have a black sponge, and this is only for the frame so it keeps the frame fresh. So you start from top, you just scrub it up, you know, derailleur, the frame. Make sure you use a lot of water and not only the dry sponge because it's going to scratch the frame up. Make sure you get both sides. And when washing your bike, it's a perfect time to look for scratches, you know, dents or anything that's going wrong. So you can go to the workshop and fix it. And when you're using shampoo, don't be afraid to put it on the rotor. Make sure you don't put it directly, but when you're cleaning and if a little bit goes on the rotor, it's fine, don't worry about that. Alright. Once you're done with cleaning the frame with the sponges, you can take your brushes and get into the deep things where, you know, the sponge can't reach. So you take your brush and you just scrub the area where there's mud and then the sponge cannot reach inside. So once you're done with that as well, you can take the same brushes and go through the suspension. So there's two types of suspension, which is the coil and the air. So this is a coil suspension. I mean, the cleaning procedure is the same. So you can see there's small seals here, these parts. Yeah, so these gets dirty. So after every ride, make sure you take a cloth and just rub it and clean the seals. And when you're washing it, make sure you don't put direct force on this, but you can take a brush and just, you know, slowly clean it so all the dirt falls off and it doesn't enter the seals, which ruins the suspension. So after you're done with that, you can take this brush and start cleaning your wheels as well. I mean, this is not a compulsory thing to do, but the cleaner the bike, the better it looks. So get both sides and you scrub it off. Alright, so when you're done with the frame and stuff, you can take the brush again with the soapy water and make sure you give all the parts a quick rinse and all the degreaser is out. because when you're going back to reapply the lube, the degreaser might still be there and it won't be as properly lubed. Alright, so after you're done with all of that, just take the hose and spray the whole bike from the top to the bottom. And make sure you're not using a lot of like force like that. Make sure it's a small amount because it might harm the bearings. And never take your pipe and like go direct like that because it's gonna ruin the bearings and the grease. So from a safe distance, just rinse your bike. Now once you're done with the frame, mostly focus your staying water on the drivetrain, and then make sure you give it a little bit of force and make sure that's pretty clean and all the degreaser, the dirt, everything is out. And you can also go on the chain like this, make sure that's clean. And this front part. So after you're done cleaning the bike, make sure you take it out, take it to somewhere else. And give it a few drops, all the water comes out. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. So all you need to do now is just wipe the chain, the frame and the suspension with a clean cloth so that it doesn't rust up. And then you can reapply the lube, and then yeah, you're pretty much set to go and ride the trails. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Peace.